Morning.
Oh, yeah.
Great, and you?
You look like $1,000,000. And I don't mean green and wrinkled.
Thank you.
Feeling okay?
I'm okay. I saw the green grass this morning and the blue skies.
Recording in progress.
Good morning and welcome to today's meeting, Thursday, March 14th, 2024, with the Cemetery Commission. We'd like to call this meeting to order. We'd like to stand up first and do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice for all. Thank you. So we are meeting here at Town Hall in the Bellata Meeting Room. And I need to read a few things to you. In accordance with the requirement of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and broadcasted live over the Lunenburg Public Access channel on Facebook Live, on the Public Access Facebook page, and will be uploaded to the Lunenburg Access YouTube after the meeting. This meeting will be held in person at the location provided on this notice. Members of the public are welcome to attend the in-person meeting. Please note that while an option for remote access and/or participation is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting will be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcasts unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public will, with particular interest in any specific item on this agenda, should make plans for an in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. A member of the public who wishes to record a meeting must first notify the chair and must comply with reasonable requirements regarding audio or video equipment established by the chair, so as not to interfere with the meeting. The chair is requested to inform other attendees of any such recording at the beginning of the meeting. If someone arrives after the meeting has begun and wishes to record the meeting, that person should attempt to notify the chair prior to beginning recording, ideally in a manner that does not significantly disrupt the meeting in progress, such as passing a note to the chair. The chair should endeavor to acknowledge such attempts at notification and announce the fact of any recording to those in attendance. This agenda lists all the topics which may be discussed at the meeting and are those reasonably anticipated by the chair. Votes may be taken as a result of these discussions. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by the open meeting law. Public participation is encouraged and public comments may be welcomed during the committee member discussions at the discretion of the chair. Please note during public comment that you have 3 minutes to give your public comment. Thank you. Is there anyone here today that's taping, please?
Yes.
Okay. And your name?
Oh, sorry, John Bowen.
Okay.
David Bastos.
Thank you. Make sure you write that, please. Okay. We're going to go a little out of key here. We're not going to go in order because I've got to get Mike out of here. He's got to get to a meeting. So we're going to start off with number 5, which is discuss the potential cemetery commission candidate. So Michael, would you like to come up and tell us about yourself? And
Yes, Mike Clark. I live at 275 Cross Road, Lunenburg, down by Cherry Hill Farm. We moved here in 1992. And I like to say people come here for the schools or other things. I grew up in Concord, just uphill from Verrill's dairy farm. So I like to say I came here for the hills and the dairy farms. When you live uphill from a dairy farm, you get a nice odor. And being right adjacent to Cherry Hill Farm in the spring when they start to spread the manure, it reminds me of my youth. So we really love Lunenburg, and for my interest in the Cemetery Commission, I'm interested in getting back on a town board. I started out, I did under 8 and 10 soccer coaching. I did the school's health advisory council. That motivated me and my interest of getting on the school committee. I served on the school committee for 3 years, in 2004 to 2007. I got into the Boy Scout program with my son. I was a Boy Scout adult leader for 12 years, den leader for 5 through Tiger to Weeblo 2. Took the, as an adult leader in the Boy Scouts, you do training, youth protection, Corey, all that good stuff. So that was a good exposure to adult leader training, working with the Scouts, and even the Boy Scout program, which is a rank advancement method. So that was a very good exposure to a good system, working with the kids. I've been in industry for 40 years, a lot of it in documentation. Everything I do goes out into the company, many eyes looking at it. It's very important to get the documentation right because you get feedback. Lots of it, if it isn't. So, the ISO 9000 training, companies' ethics policies, internet policies, so I have all the background and training. I'm the chair of the Lunenburg Republican Town Committee. That introduced me to Mass General Law. I thought it was just a casual group of Republicans meeting. Our chair left and they asked me, who was just the guy who kind of attended in the corner, we'd like you to be chair. And so that was an introduction to, oh no, this isn't a casual thing. This is all governed by Mass General Law. And, there's rules and regulations and campaign financing reporting. And so I took over and got all that set for our committee. And, I know, on school committee and all, your roles and responsibilities. We have our town charter. That seems like the guiding document. We also have our bylaws. I'm interested in getting into that, and performing to the role. And with the Boy Scouts, we did a lot of work on Eagle projects in the cemeteries. So I'm familiar with the superintendent, Todd Holman. My son did his project there. I think 3 other projects I can recall of compost bins, some granite posts and stairs, and straightening headstones. So I'd like to get back into a town level board. This board's scope and all seems to be a good fit right now, and so that's my interest. Yeah.
That's wonderful. We've had, Dave and I have had this from the town. They sent us a volunteer application, and we're so happy to have another volunteer, as we all know. Unfortunately, when Stan passed away suddenly, and we were left with no one. So we're very, very happy to have you to, come here and give us what your thoughts are on this. One question I do have, where you've been able to give us pretty much one of the questions was your, work and life experience, what skills and knowledge can you offer the Cemetery Commission? Obviously, you've just answered that, and the reason why you want to be on the Cemetery Commission. Would you be interested in, again, seeing yourself running for the election in 2024 ballot?
Yes.
Okay. Because sometimes, they get on for a little while and then they just, which would only be a month or so. So I just wanted to make sure that that was possible for you. And the other thing is meeting on Thursdays at 9 a.m. So it would be one Thursday a month at 9 a.m. and it will probably still be here.
Yeah, I can do that. I can work
Okay.
from home on one day a week and
Okay.
Be on the board meeting.
And if that changes, for both of you, we can work around that if that needed to change at nighttime. And Dave, is there anything you would like to ask or go over?
I just appreciate you coming on and volunteering to be a member, and your past experience is fantastic of what you've done for the town, and I thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you.
And we do definitely thank the Boy Scouts. I can't thank you enough for what they've done. So, you know, our younger generation of miners that like to come in and to help the cemetery is much appreciated. I know the parents, you know, wanted them to be involved with that. I know your son, did your son get a special award, and also some of the other ones on that?
Well, they're working, that's their Eagle Scout project,
Right.
so they get their Eagle Scout rank if they're successful in completing the entire scope of requirements, yeah.
Right, no, we appreciate it so much, and as Dave, I definitely thank you for stepping forward, and we'll look forward in the next steps.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, Michael.
thank you. Okay, so we will go, actually, I'm going to just do one other thing before I go to the public comment, and then I'll step right into that. We're going to review and approve the minutes for February 22nd, 2024. Dave, did you
I
have a chance
I
to?
had a chance. Yep.
Okay,
I make a motion that we approve the minutes for February 22nd, 2024.
and I second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, approved. Okay, we can now start off with public comment. Is there anybody that would like to give a public comment, please?
John Bowen, 162 Highland Street. The Rainmaker program that's used by the DPW to enter data back to 2010 is a very arduous process. Each grave will need to be individually viewed, and the available records will need to be sorted, verified, then scanned. This is cost prohibitive. The Rainmaker Platinum program, which the DPW manages, can have Rainmaker enter those information, but that would be upwards and over to $10,000. This issue is not one of the ability of the DPW, but of the cost. My communications with the proprietor of Rainmaker software has been very forthcoming to me regarding this process, and has the cemetery superintendent and DPW director. As for costs, we need to look into the capital plan request for headstone repair of $38,000 recommended by the town manager. This is another project request of this commission that is outside the scope of what the capital plan is for. The only improvement should be only done to headstones which the town has control. That would be specifically stones over 100 years old. All other stones by law fall on the perpetual care fund. Mass General Laws, Chapter 114, Section 15 states, "And the town shall, from the proceeds of sales of lots, be apportioned to reimburse the town for the cost of land, its care, improvement, and embellishment on an enlargement of a cemetery, or the enlargement of a cemetery." When has the commission reimbursed this town? They presently hold about $200,000 in coffers, and the town has not seen a dime of reimbursement. Now they want more money from the taxpayer. Under Section 16, the town may raise taxation. However, Section 15 requires a reimbursement. I will parrot the select board on this money request. Unless and until the DPW has provided a formal RFP for any work in the cemetery, no money should be allowed for any work because we do not have a solid number in a formal proposal and in a process that the town is reimbursed as is written in the law. They failed to bid properly, particularly the parking lot, which was not put out for bid and exceeded $10,000 at the North Cemetery while this board was convened, and that violated the law. The charter for the Cemetery Commission is severable because the state law cited has been cherry-picked. General Laws 114.23 specifically lists the control of this commission, superintendents and management, is the layout of grounds and to subdivide only. Then it states, subject to the approval of the town may make regulations consent with laws. I know I didn't give approval of anything or regulations, and neither did any of the taxpayers in this town. The use of volunteers and the historical studies with Mr. McGrath and Mr. Tyler are appropriate directions. However, they are misapplied. The West Cemetery fiasco comes to mind of the installation of headstones. One was 100 feet away from a body. This is illegal and is now being corrected by the town attorney. The restoration of those stones, which sit at the cemetery building, as restored, were not done so in a historical context by volunteers. This is another problem. Grants for cemeteries and getting portions of the cemeteries on the National Historical Register have requirements. I know this because personally I have done historical historical restoration, Back Bay, Beacon Hill, Lexington, Concord. We manufactured with my glass company, we manufactured historical windows and inserted them in all sorts of encasements. This is a process that needs to be done slowly, meticulously. The money is there for grants. You have to follow the process. And why should the taxpayer foot the bill when this board should be reimbursing this town and this community for its money that it gives to the DPW to care for the cemeteries? Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman. Is there any other public comments? Mr. Rogers?
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Dave Rogers. I live at 82 Highland Street, and I'm here just by happenstance. I took occasion to look at a couple of recordings of your meetings, and very frankly, I was really taken back. My purpose in coming today is to arrange a time that I can be on your schedule, on your agenda, so that I may discuss in greater detail, which certainly will take more than 3 minutes, which absolutely is the bane of my existence, so that we can discuss it. But in a nutshell, I really took exception to the way the DPW director was interrogated, excuse me, and the manner in which the flow of information went really concerned me, which is why I wanted to step forward. I've been a resident, along with my wife and children, of Lunenburg for over 50 years. And I remember when there was one person that took care of the cemetery and one person that took care of the parks and recreation. And we got by, and we got by handsomely. And there just seems to be a plethora of discontent, and I can't help but tell you, my considered opinion is that it smacks of a power play. I mean, it doesn't have to be as complicated as I saw on the replay of the Cemetery Commissioners meeting. So that in a nutshell is why I'm here. And I'd like to arrange a schedule so that I can be on your agenda and I can speak more than 3 minutes.
Okay, we can definitely, I'll take that under advisement. We'll both take that underneath advisement, and we'll have to see when we can do that. It will probably be in April, if that's amenable to you.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, so we'll look at some dates, and if you can just, kind of give me exactly what you'd like to, what I need to put down as far as what you're coming to the Cemetery Commission for, that would be wonderful.
Okay, I'll give it to you right now. The reason I'm coming, would like to come before this commission, is to go over the issues at hand for the cemetery, and also the way the DPW director was treated when I looked at some of the meetings.
Okay,
All right?
sure.
So you'll let me know when?
I will,
All right.
absolutely. I still have your number, so I will give you a call.
That'd be fine. Thank
All
you
right.
so much for your time.
Thank you,
Yep.
thank you. Is there any more public comments? No. Okay. Thank you again both for your public comments. Okay, so the next one is the DPW director is not here today, and I'm been asked to read an attachment that he sent. So I'm going to read through this, and as I read through it, there will be some discussions here with the Cemetery Commission regarding it. So the first one is the DPW director update is the roadways in the north and south cemeteries remain open to the traffic, to vehicles going in there. There is some information, the two part-time seasonal cemetery labor positions are advertised on 3/12/24, and they've already had 3 applicants that have come forward. DPW will be scheduling interviews in the next couple of weeks regarding that, so we'll hear more, I'm sure, from that. Is there anything you'd like to say about that, Dave?
Not about that particular one.
Okay.
Thank you.
The next one is the next steps for the 2024 season DPW maintenance plan. Rule 310-4, landscaping standards for perpetual care, Part C, annual maintenance plan. Prior to the March 15th of each calendar year, the cemetery superintendent will provide a maintenance plan to the cemetery commissioners that identifies how the cemeteries and burial grounds will be maintained for the year, consistent with the rules, regulations, and standards of the cemetery commissioners. The DPW will provide a general maintenance plan in accordance with that rule. So I suspect that we should have something next week regarding that, where I believe tomorrow is the 15th.
Good.
Is there anything you'd like to
That's
state
good.
with that?
That's great.
Okay. Now, regarding the Rainmaker, Rainmaker is a cemetery information management system. CIMS, the CIMS Lite, is an easy way or an easy-to-use database that helps cemetery managers track ownership, interments, and marker information. The database contains information that is available to employees only. I'll finish reading this, and then I'll have some comments regarding this. This is considered day-to-day care and maintenance per the section 3-5B and not a function of the cemetery commission. Passwords for the software are assigned to staff only. The cemetery superintendent updates Rainmaker during the winter months. Data from this has been put in from the past year. Any data found missing from previous interments is also added. Data from 6/22/2015, the hire date of the cemetery superintendent, is up to date. Without an exclusive review of the data from January 1st, 2010 to June 21st, 2015, the DPW cannot confirm that the data is up to date at this point in time. So this is an issue that is going to go, which we are going to look into behind the scenes, because we are the ones that bought this software, meaning the Cemetery Commission, back in 2010. It was signed off by the Cemetery Commission before me, and in 2019, that particular commissioner, which was we had signed off on it, is to do the upgrade for it. So unfortunately, what we're looking at and what we need to understand a little bit better is under the job title for the superintendent of the cemetery is that it's his job to handle these particular things. What I would like to see again going forward is, again, the software was bought in by us. We pay for it every single year with the maintenance fees and also the cost of the license. So we will get through that next piece, and that will be handled again with either having a meeting with Heather and or whatever place needs to take place at that point in time. But that is an ongoing one, and this will be moved to our next probably meeting in April. Is there anything you would like to say regarding that?
I'm just very concerned that the Cemetery Commission's paying for this. We paid it from the very beginning, but yet it says in here, it's in DPW director, that they're the only ones to get the password, and that shouldn't be. If we're paying for it, we have access to the password also. So I go along with what you're saying to have the town manager involved, and maybe even if that doesn't work out, go to the select board.
I have a
But-
concern, Chair, may I?
I'm sorry, public comment. You've already made your public comment.
Public comment.
Sorry.
It's to the flow of this meeting. The DPW director, you just said
Again,
you don't read
I'm
the
sorry,
password.
you,
Point of order.
yes.
Dave Passios, 56 Whiting Street. This is a point of order I'd like to bring up. The commission is presently in its deliberations based on the agenda. under those conditions, there is no back and forth between visitors and the public and the commission. So I take exception to the meeting being interrupted. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, like I was saying, I think we have to get this resolved quickly, and we'll go to the town manager, and then if we have to, go to the select board. But if we paid for it from the beginning, it's okay for the superintendent to have the password, but we should have it also. He shouldn't be blocking us out. So
And I'm glad you.
let's go from there.
I'm glad you brought that up. The one last piece that I'm going to make on this comment, and then we're going to move on from this, is simply that the Cemetery Commission has always had that password and has always been allowed in. And that's where, again, why is it with this particular Cemetery Commission chair, is that not allowed for these parties that are on the commission at this point in time? But that will be looked into, again, either with Heather and/or above that. So we will table that again for another time. And I do want to make sure that the public knows that I was sent this information. The DPW director, it is his choice that he cannot make this meeting. Understandably, I know he's busy. I get that. And that's why he gave this to me, and he said to read it and to go over it. So we're going to deliberate what we need to deliberate here. And we will, again, discuss this further if there needs to be discussion. This next one I am very concerned about, which is a cemetery refund, ongoing issues. And I'm just going to read again. This is directly from the director, the DPW director. In October of 2023, the K family, we're just going to not use their names, requested a refund on the burial lot they purchased in 1996 as they have moved out of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and no longer wish to be buried here. The cost of the lot was $150 for burial rights and $200 for perpetual care, for a total of $350. The amount of $150 burial rights was refunded. The $200 for perpetual care was not refunded, as perpetual care was performed for 27 years. I'm going to read all of these first, and then I'll go back and I'll make my comment. In November of 2023, the L family requested a refund on the burial lot they purchased in 2020 as they moved out of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and no longer wish to be interred here. The cost of the lot was $800 for burial rights and $400 for perpetual care, for the total of $1,200. The amount of $1,200 was refunded. Perpetual care was refunded, as perpetual care was only performed for 3 years. In March of 2024, the C family requested a refund on the burial lot they purchased in 2002, as they have moved out of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and no longer wish to be buried here. A cost of the lot was $800 for burial rights, $200 for perpetual care, for a total of $1,000. The amount of $800 burial rights was refunded. The $200 for perpetual care was not refunded, as perpetual care was performed for 22 years. The next paragraph reads, the selling and refunding of burial lots is a day-to-day operation performed by the cemetery superintendent. The refunds came out of the funds under the care of the Cemetery Commission. These are the first refunds since I became DPW director. It was an oversight on my part for not informing the Cemetery Commission of the funds. Going forward, I will inform the Cemetery Commission of any funds at the next meeting. Okay, so we are going to discuss this whole piece. This whole piece is wrong, and I'll tell you why it's wrong, is because under the rules and regulations of the Cemetery Commission, no one is to give back money to anyone regarding sale of lots unless it's the Cemetery Commission votes on it and decides that we're going to go forward with giving back the funds to the parties, number one. I would say that under this guideline, that this was gone, basically taken behind our backs without us knowing that this was happening, both in October and November. And now I just found out today, quite by surprise, that someone tried to go on March and try to get another refund. That has been stopped at this point in time until I get through and the Cemetery Commission gets through this issue. No one DPW is not allowed to do this. Their signature means nothing on here. It is the Cemetery Commission's, it always has been, and it always will be. That is our discretion on going forward with allowing refunds to be done. Now, do I think that there's a reason that we would say no to this? Probably not. I can't imagine that there would be any situation why we would say no. But it's a fact of the matter, that is not protocol. These are the rules and regulations of the Cemetery Commission, and this is what we are going to fix again. This is going to be tabled for the next meeting. Dave, is there anything you would like to
Yes.
say?
I'd just like to make a note that prior to the current DPW director coming on, we've had people wanting refunds, and under the former commissioner of the Cemetery Commission, he brought that up and we put it into our minutes, and everything was notarized and we gave back the money. I don't understand why the change now under the new DPW director and the new Cemetery Commission, why it's changed that they would give the money back. The money came to us. The money is the Cemetery Commission's money, and I just feel that we should go back to the way it was. And again, this is another thing we're going to have to discuss with the DPW director, and if that doesn't work, go to the town manager, and if that doesn't work, we'll have to go to the select board again. It's just that things are changing under the new DPW director and the new commissioner, and I just don't understand why the change has to be. So those are my thoughts right now.
I thank you for those thoughts. And we will, again, I think the best thing is to table that to find out what the issues are that we were not communicated against, and especially this one that I just found out today, which was, here we are, how many weeks into March, and I just found out after being told in February that they were not supposed to be doing this, and it has to come to us for a vote, and we sign off on it. So they've known since February that the DPW, that this does not happen. And it was also, the cemetery superintendent is well aware of this because this process has started from the first day I walked onto this commission. I was not chair at that point, but we never had an issue until today. Now, open discussions for cemetery updates. So pretty much we've done the maintenance plan. We know when that's going to be coming. The Rainmaker issue, we know where that is. The cemetery refund, we've just discussed that. The one piece is Richard McGrath, unfortunately, had already scheduled a vacation, so unfortunately, when we couldn't go forward last week because we didn't have enough members on, that we had to move it to today's date, and he was unable to make it, but he will be in a future discussion, and that will be in our April meeting. And that looks like, again, I'll have to make sure that this date is going to be okay for everyone, but April 18th. And I will make sure that that is still going to go forward. The only last thing that I have is that I was given information that there is a party that would like to have a 4-foot bench brought into the North Cemetery. I'm trying to work with Bill's schedule to have him come down. We'll look at it. We'll look at it with the party. And again, we have 4-foot benches. We have 3-foot benches. In the North Cemetery, in the South. I'm not sure on the South Cemetery because I haven't gone to measure all of those over there, but definitely in the North Cemetery, there are 4-foot and 3-foot benches. So we will see if we can go forward with this or not. The resident understands that, again, the DPW will be looking at this too with me or with us, the commission, to make sure that this is okay for the location that it's going to be in. Is there anything else, Dave, that you would like to state?
No, none at this time.
Okay, are you ready
I
to?
wish to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn the
Motion
meeting?
reading, yes.
Aye.
Aye.
No, I'm sorry. Try that again. Motion to adjourn the meeting, and then all parties?
Aye.
Aye. All right. We have adjourned the meeting, and thank you all for coming.